And what I wanted to do here first, I was looking over this model here, and what I came to determine was that since this guy is such, he's fitting pretty well. Um, he's fitting pretty well in this strip area, and I took the time to look at this, and I removed the AO from it like this, and I just liked how, I like how the shadows are occurring on the pail. Okay, so I like those shadows that are happening back there. And um and I like how the shadows are appearing on the nails themselves, or the rivets, okay? But I mean, as far as a difference between these two, I'm not really seeing that big of a difference on something for getting AOs in these specific areas. You can kind of see I'm getting a little AO ring there. Um, is it really worth it in my opinion? I'm not really too sure. So I might be taking some opportunities here and possibly even just I may just tile this metal, because that, I mean, in the long run here, I think that's going to be more useful to me than actually just having a metal ring. This thing's already set up to be like a trimming area. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to, in fact, um, I'm going to take my UVs here. I'm going to snap my pivot to the corner. And then I'm going to move this guy and snap it straight to the grid. Make sure this guy's lined up perfectly here. Nice and straight, right? I need to unfold this guy because I'm seeing a little deviation. Never mind. Never mind. I guess I'm stuck with what I get there. What am I getting here? Why? These guys are so crooked. Here, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna grab these edges and I'm just gonna scale those to a flat shape. I need this guy to be straight. And I need my UVs to line up perfectly too. So that's the big thing there that I need to emphasize on, is just making sure that my stuff stays straight. So I'm just snapping these guys together here, making sure I'm scaling it all the way. I'm gonna do a soft select here. I'm just gonna take it all the way to the, I'm gonna make sure that I don't hit that last vertex over there, because I don't want to pull any of that. I'm just gonna drag this guy over here. Actually, let me just hold X and just snap it. There we go. So I did a snap there, and that extended my whole shell to the end. And this is gonna set my model up to have that trim there. So what I'm actually gonna do here too, and you'll see how that kind of moved my stuff around a little bit. I highly doubt I'm gonna need the AO, but just in case I do want to leave the AO there, I'm gonna duplicate this guy. I'm gonna scale it in. Let me just shift the UVs here. Scale it in. Okay, it's not really working. It's not really going too soft on me here. So I'm gonna have to just kind of manually do this, line this stuff up. And there was something different about this one where I had like a hole in this other one. Let me push this guy down. Nope, wrong one. Grab the other one. There we go. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is just shift this guy around to this one. I'm pretty sure that's the direction I'm supposed to go. Maybe it's the other way. Where's my little baked on hole guy over here? Thought I had, there he is. Okay, so I'm just rotating it around for that little hole right there. I'll slide him down just a little bit. Shift him over. Okay, so my stuff is still kind of lined up. I got a little seam on this. So if I do end up leaving the AO, but yeah, I mean, look at this. I've shifted all different ways here. There's no way to really line this up perfectly. And it's probably doing the same thing on the top, actually. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I'm just going to get rid of that AO. It's not doing any good. Bad news. Bad news, AO. All right. So, I mean, this guy's doing the right thing. I'm just going to ditch him, though. If I want to bring him back, I'll just go to an older file. But yeah, I think I'm just going to ditch the AO on this guy. I mean, just for the sake, if I want to do another bake, this is what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this guy over here. So in case I want, like if I want those AOs there, I'll do another AO bake and bake the rivets in there basically. And then they'll be lined up in the right place, but it'll be a tiling effect and they should be lined up perfectly on this one too, hopefully. Okay. So that's the first order of operations for that, and secondly, here too, this was the other thing I wanted to do was to set up the pail loop. I need to get a loop in there with the pail. Yeah. Keep forgetting. No, the well's right there. There it is. I was smart last time when I set this up. The pail has its own little contraption there. So what I'm going to do is, since this guy is tiling now and I've got a little trim section and I'm pretty much not baking this anymore. What I can do now is I can just trim this guy right on in and just reuse UVs from what's already there. And since there's a little bevel there that's happening, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, well, it's not really a bevel, it's a, start off with the cylinder. We're getting a little bit of, I should have started off with a pipe, whatever. We're getting a little bit of this kind of shape here. Let me detach my components. I don't really need these back faces in here. Put a little bevel on this too. Or not. I don't think I can bevel edges like that, I guess. Just make an edge loop then and just lift it on up. And there we go. I get a little bevel like that. Shrink this guy in just a little bit. We'll do another bevel up here. I'm going to grab this vertice. Since I didn't start with a pipe, I'm going to have to chamfer this guy. So I'm going to chamfer it like this. Let's enlarge those faces. And I'm going to extrude down in. And then I'm just going to delete. And I can get another little bevel right here too. All right, so that's kind of the shape that we have there. Maybe I think I'm going to go a little bit shorter like that. All right, good to go, good to go. And actually, I'm going to pinch this guy in a little bit because if my pail comes in there, then I want to pinch off that hole so that I'm not seeing into that shape. And now that I'm looking at it, I don't know. Is this too much geometry? It's not too bad for me. Let's see what this guy looks like, really. Scale it up so I can see it next to it. Tucked on in there. Let's rotate this guy to a 90-degree angle. And we need to fit him on one of the pieces of wood here. Let's just see what this looks like in comparison. And that'll be a good way for me to determine. There is just a slight little angle there on that. It's not 90 degrees. We'll do a determination here and see if it's worth having all that geometry together. You know, what I may want to do is, instead of deleting, maybe I'll collapse. I don't know if that's really going to make too much of a difference though. This is seeming. Let's grab this guy in retrospect here. Yeah, I guess that works for me. And since I'm going to use tiling information, I'm not going to bake this guy in. It's or I don't need a high res is what I'm basically saying there. And I think this is still. I think I deleted. I collapsed too much, or maybe this is an uneven number. Maybe. Yeah. I did too much there, so I messed up my count. All right. Still, you know, not too bad. Not too bad there. Actually, you know what? What I should have done here, you leave the outside and you only collapse the inside. That's what I should have done. How could I be such a fool? So just leave the outside. Okay, let's try that again. Collapse. There we go. This is how you want to get things done. Leave that outside because that's the important part. And just exclude it from the selection. This is how we keep those important shapes and lose the shapes that aren't important. Because what's going on the inside is a little bit too much information. We can reduce that down. And one more to seal the deal here. There we go. Now that's game res. Not too bad. I'm still not too confident that I need this bevel here. I'm sure it'll kind of be helpful. You never know. You never know. All right, let me UV this guy, and then we'll duplicate it to the other side. Just grab the faces and do a UV projection. Let's see what it looks like. I shouldn't really have to do a lot of work here, actually. Just do an unfold, and unfold's been messing up on me. If you haven't been watching my my Twitch streams, unfold is not being a happy little helper there. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here for this guy is I want him to be down here, like in the middle of this stuff, and mirrored over to this side basically, because let me make sure that he's assigned to that material there too. Is this the same material? I should be seeing my my AO. So I don't think I got it in the right material yet. There it is. All right. But yeah, not too sure if I'm gonna get the AO still, but let me just put it in a safe spot. Like I said, right? If I do decide to bake it, there's not gonna be any hole there baked onto it. It's just gonna get some random metal information from the middle of my strip. So we're still modeling safe here, right? And now I'm gonna duplicate this guy. If I let me freeze transformations on him. Get my wireframe turned on. I probably don't need my UVs anymore right now. Wireframe. I'm gonna snap my pivot to the vertice right here. And if I duplicate this correctly, oh, take away the movements of that there. I should be able to type in 180 here. Doesn't matter if you have a negative or not. And it should line up perfectly on the other side without me having to flip it and get some backwards UVs on things. You know, it was close. It was kind of close. Just rotate it a little bit. I want to just nail it right in the middle once again. Now, I hope that lines up. And, you know, if it's a little crooked, hey, that works for us, actually. It makes it look more organic. But that's our little nail assembly. Let's get the actual pail in here now. Or the handle. I'm gonna do a torus here. This guy shouldn't be too bad. Should be a pretty easy application here. Let's rotate him. Get that 90-degree angle there. Slide him on in. Oh, I didn't notice that you could do a twist in this. Section radius needs to go down. I think I need more geometry this way, but less geometry on the height. That's too much on the height there. Take that down pretty good. That's good. That'll get the job done. Six edges, not too bad. Okay. And just like I've said too, you do notice that these buckets and these pails, they do elongate. You know, it's not a perfect sphere or a perfect cylinder. It gets a little bit longer down the sides, but if I scale this guy, I'm gonna get some stretching proportions there, and that's a little weak. We don't want that. So what I'm gonna do here, I don't have UVs on this thing, so chill out, buddy. What I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna grab these faces down here. Make sure I'm not grabbing too much. I think this, yeah, I do still want this one. Delete them. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to extrude those edges down. Just extrude forward. I think I'm getting like a widening happening there too. That's not good. I might need to scale these guys out a little bit more. We're almost getting to that point. Yeah, these are getting a little wider. That's a little weird. Let me just scale them in. Nope. What's going on? Okay, so those were utter failures. Let me just delete those faces and try this again. I'm just gonna extrude them, but we'll go down. We're just gonna do this manually. Just a little bump in the right direction. And I'm not exactly centered on this thing. And these guys are not exactly lined up perfectly either. I must have used like an odd number or something. Just gonna scale it flat, kinda. Raise it up a little bit, and what I'm just now realizing too is that this guy is a little bit thicker than what we intended it to be. So I'm just gonna grab this and change it to normal, and I'm just gonna deflate the pail just a little bit. And do a little bit of that, along with a little scaling of this guy too. So let's just scale you out a little bit more. You know what? I need to do these at the same time. Get the same tail shape, the same hole shape, really. I'm just gonna grab this guy. I don't want to scale. Why am I getting that? I think I did I duplicate too many times on that guy? That's bad. Okay. How did I... Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, something's weird here. Let's do this one at a time. I love consistency and everything, but that is something weird. I seem to have duplicated that face a little bit too much or something. It'll be okay. We'll make it. We'll make it. Now this guy, I want to rotate him inwards like this. And same thing with this guy. We'll rotate you inwards like this. And I'll just do another extrusion like that. We're gonna bring the faces inwards and down. Oh, I left some faces in there. So look at that. Where's my, oh, yeah, my normals are still set up there. There we go. Just gonna lower it right into the hole there. Slide you in. Just a subtle rotation needed here. Let's try that. Well, I'm sure it's bad on the other side now. Yeah, a little bit. There's no middle ground probably. Yeah. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab this guy. Just like that. I'm gonna do a little soft select and we'll just put a little bend on this pail and just send it on home. You know, we can bend this guy up. We can make this thing seem organic if you want to. It's completely up to you. This thing does not have to be perfect. We can put little bangs on this thing, you know. Make this thing interesting. Just tiny little adjustments like that can help the model out and make it just look right. All right, soften the faces. This angle is a little rough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna insert another edge loop in here. Just try to, calm the situation down. Hostage situation there. And that, that's enough. I think that gets the job done. Now for the shape, I'm not giving this thing UV space like that. Okay, so I just, that, if I UV'd this guy, it would be an utter waste, okay? So I'm going to unitize this character. I'm just not even gonna worry about what it looks like here. And I'm just gonna unitize. This guy, gotta get deleted, buddy. All right, going over to UVs. I'm gonna select all my UVs. Actually, here first. First off, I gotta grab some edge loops that I think are probably gonna be my UV seams. I'm gonna I'm gonna reverse my selection and do a move and sew, and that should line up all my stuff. I should actually have two perfectly lined up UVs there. And we'll see. Truthfully, I could probably snap these guys together and not, have a, not have a UV seam down the middle of this thing. Could probably do that. But that's gonna thicken this thing up though, truthfully. So, do I want my stuff to be thin? Actually, you know what? Here's what I have to do here first. Before I get too far into thinking about this, this guy needs some better UVs to begin with, because right now we are stretched and we do not have our squares. Now I'm in the UV spaces. I need to scale this guy out because they're all squares, but I made it out of rectangles. So the UVs are squares, but they need to be rectangles. And once I get a check, like a perfect, like a really good square checker on my UVs, then I'll know that I'm, you know, I'm getting a little too thin there. I think that's about right there. So that's what my UVs look like, split into 2 UV shells. I can scale it down again. Still though, like I don't know, it's a hard thing to see this guy because my squares are right in the middle of that. Hang on, let me. Okay, it seems like it's evenly divided. I guess those are still squares. But yeah, if I make this guy thicker, it's going to be hard for me to do what I want to do here next, because what I plan on doing with this model and with this shape is I'm going to slide him in here with the other shape. We're going to take off the checkers. And what I plan on doing with this character is I'm going to try to squeeze him in here between the holes and the edge, and just let him tile, you know. What I should actually look at is just my texel density, actually. You know, if we load up checkers on these guys, let me just grab checkers on all of it. You know, how big are my checkers? This is a good, you know, way to view this thing. Do my checkers need to be bigger or do they need to be smaller? Because I want even distribution and even details on my model. I don't want these to be smaller or bigger. They should be equally sized, and that's something that everybody has to get used to, is texel density. You know, getting those checkers to look the right way. And I think I currently have that right now. So in all honesty, I think I'm gonna grab these UV shells and just, you know, just make sure that they're doing the right thing. I don't think I'm gonna combine them together because that's gonna make my shape too thick. But what I am going to do though, I don't know, I don't want that Rorschach effect though. I don't want these guys lined up perfectly with each other. Let me see, is the top the same as the bottom here? I don't know. I think, it's moved around a little bit. I really don't want a Rorschach effect though, so I'm just gonna slide one of these guys off a little bit. So that way I'm not getting the same detail on both sides, just in case. If I need to move that again, then I'll move it again. But once again, like, I'm staying out of the baking area too. If I still want that AO there, I don't want this pail to get in the way of that AO. So there we go. I have the pail handle there. Looking pretty snazzy. Not using up any more texture space. I'm gonna tile that. Or trim it, sorry. Trim, tile, you get it. No, why am I getting Z fighting on these guys? Are there multiples of them? No. It's just a really thin surface, I guess. I don't have backs to these, do I? No insides? Okay. Just checking. I think it's just Maya doing its thing. So, I need rope, and I need to position this guy now. I have a bucket already done. Pretty sure. You know what? I'm gonna leave this guy there. And I'm just going to duplicate them. Let me freeze the transformations and just combine them together, just to be safe. That way I know, like this is my original one. All the namings look like they're right. Just freeze transformation and delete histories on it. But yeah, all that information is still there. I'm simply just taking a duplicate of it. That way I don't ruin my bake with anything. I want this guy to be the right scale. I don't want him to be too small. It's a pretty significant looking bucket in my opinion. Right? So where's the tip? Where's the edge of this thing actually? I want people to be able to see this thing. I think, you know, my overhang is probably going to be on this side a little bit, because what's going to happen is I'm going to take, you know, this shape and wrap it around like 1 or 2 more times, and then like kind of loop it down here and connect it over there. So that's what I plan on doing. And I'm going to need a full helix for that. I can't just work with this half helix here. I need a full shape for that. So